What's going on, guys? I'm gonna do a little video, show y'all how I flat tow my Jeep behind my truck. I've got to take it to the shop. I've got some warranty stuff that I figured I might as well not do it if it's under warranty in case I get in there and bonehead something up. But I'm just gonna show you what I use, how I use it, and hopefully it'll help some of y'all out. And if you ever want to flat tow behind a truck or motorhome, get a little information. So hope y'all like it, and I'm gonna break that down for you here in just a few minutes. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is the Ox Patriot 2. I bought this, I guess it's 5, 6 years ago now, and it's worked really, really well. You sit it on a floorboard. It's really designed to be pulled behind a motorhome or what have you to be the brake system if you don't have one added. You can add that. They're super expensive to add into the brake pedal and having an actuator and all that good stuff to tow behind a motorhome or whatever you want to tow behind. But this works great. It's a Bluetooth type system. You've got your controller right here for your brake. I've got this on a little ram cup holder thing I put in my truck, and you just basically clamp this into the robot, go through the setup process, and it's got a breakaway switch and the whole thing, and it does a great job braking. And then I got some pretty expensive, I think paid $30-$40 for these things, if that, at Harbor Freight years ago, and they've worked really well. I just run this from the bumper all the way to the front. That way I don't have to wire in my own brakes. The brakes do come on when the brake pedal is applied, but this is real-time brake, turn signals, the whole thing, and that plugs straight into the back of my truck. So if you want to come out here and kind of see what I'm talking about up here, you've got my tow bar set up. So basically this is a pretty inexpensive tow bar. It's rated at 5,000 pounds. The Jeep is probably a little bit more than that, but never had an issue. And I've got it bolted straight into the bumper right here, so it's got a good anchor point. I had another bumper before, and I actually had some that would go into I had some adapters that would go straight into the tow hooks, but the design of this, you can tell, it just won't swivel correctly, at least not with this tow bar. So I do have the cross chains underneath, just in case the tow bar comes apart. I'm gonna have the chains on the bumper. You actually have a breakaway switch that is wired. I've got it run directly into the cab, and that'll plug into the robot. But it's super easy to do for the most part. You got a little setup time, but once you get it hooked up, it works super well. So I'm going to go through and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so basically, works great. You got a steel bumper, magnets, both on both sides. Just pop them on. Easy to mount, easy to see. And then you're just going to run your cable all the way through the cab and into the front. I did have to add, well, I didn't have to, but it was getting pretty tight, so I added a little extension here, which is I guess about 3 feet, 3-4 foot extension, and that does come in handy. So run this through the cab, and then I'll show you how to hook it up on the front. Okay, so as I was saying, I got it run through the cab. This right here, you can just kind of tuck it away. I'm probably going to use this as a little more tie down the front. Yeah, just get your extra, throw it up under the mat, wherever you want to do, get it out of the way. The cord's going to come in through here, and then we can just shut the tailgate on this. And you know, there's a rubber gasket there, so it's not going to pinch. But rods roll well on top. If you notice, I got some blue tape under there, and that's just to keep it from getting grit and grime under there and picking up any metal particles out of all the junk that gets caught up in here. But basically it just runs through the cab, and all the way through the other side. Get it up right here. Again, it's going to come right through here. Door gasket shuts. I just run, when I go on longer trips, I actually run it under the hood so it doesn't flap so much. I just ran it out here right here because I'm not going that far. So I don't think it's going to be bouncing around too much. But runs all the way up here, and then there's your plug. And that's going to go right into the back of the truck. So hooking it up just like a trailer. All right, so we've got everything lined up, and it's pretty simple. It's a little bit of a pain. You're definitely going to need a backup camera to come in handy, or just have somebody come spot you. But all you're really doing is you're coming in, hooking up just like a trailer. It's this is just a little Harbor Freight adjustable bolt hitch, and I've got a little tension strap right here, and just loosen it up. There it is, locked in. So you just latch it like a trailer. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the tail lights, get it latched, get the safety chains on, and I'll show you how the robot and all that good stuff works. But that's pretty much it as far as like linking it up to the truck. All right, so we've got it hooked up. Truck hazards are on, so tail lights are working. So like I said, it's basically, if you ever hooked up a trailer, it's pretty much the same principle. Got your breakaway switch here, everything's locked up. Plug and play on that. Make sure you cross your chains. I actually have some safety cables that go to the frame of the Jeep up under there to keep it tight. I'm going to take this strap off right here. It's just my hanger strap, and we'll go inside and I'll show you how the robot works, how you get your Jeep set up to tow for flat towing, and then I'll come back into the truck and show you how the Bluetooth remote works for the robot. Okay guys, so the next step is getting this thing ready to tow. So if you look in your manual here, mine's 2012, sorry about the glare, but on page 8081 for mine, it shows you how to flat tow a vehicle. So it's fairly simple. One of the things that might kind of blow your mind is when you're done, you actually put this thing in park. So let's try this. So you want to just put it into the operating position. I'm going to hold a brake. Put it into neutral. Then you want to take your transfer case, put it back to neutral. So now you're in neutral. Okay. Now it says put it in reverse after you start the engine. Okay. So if you can see right here, it says, I know it's hard to see, start the engine, shift and reverse, release the brake to see if it moves. Then you want to turn off the engine and then put the transmission into park, not neutral. So you actually tow a Jeep down the road in park, because your transfer case is actually what engages the gears. So we've got it in neutral. I'm going to crank it up. Okay, put it in reverse, see if it pulls. Nothing. Put it in drive. Nothing. So now you put it in neutral. You turn off the engine. You put it in park. Take the key out and you're done. This is how you tow it, believe it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get back the robot into the floorboard up here, and I will show you how that works. Okay, so here's the robot, and I always put a towel on the floorboard because I've got the WeatherTech mats, so it makes it a little slippery because there's not much for it to grab a hold to on the bottom. It gave you some little pedestal things. I don't know what happened to mine, honestly. They may still be in a bag somewhere. But one thing that I've noticed is put the towel down, it gives you a little bit of a grip surface, and it's actually going to be pushing against the seat and the pedal. So I'm going to hook it up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so got it all set up. You basically rotate this around to the highest position to where the pads are just touching or not quite touching the seat. This is your breakaway switch here. It is, you can see down in there, it is clamped to the pedal, and it runs into the constant hot for your auxiliary cigarette lighter type plug in your console, which is a constant hot. The robot will not run down your battery. You could actually run something out of this if you needed to. I've pulled this thing cross country numerous times with this. It does not run down the battery, although I do, you know, every few hundred miles, if I'm stopped somewhere, I'll crank it up and just let it run just to make sure. But I've never had a problem with this running down the battery. So how this works is, now that we got the car in neutral, we got everything hooked up, everything's plugged, you just come in here and you hit setup. And it's just a few second process here where it finds its happy spot to where it knows how much pressure to give the brake between the seat and the brake. Now you have the gain settings on here, so you can set it higher or lower. I just run it like 5 or 6. You can also set that from the cab. So when I plug in the Bluetooth up in the front in the truck, I'll show you how it works. But it basically has an auxiliary pull switch to panic brake this if need be. Had to use it a couple times just because of, you know, oddball situations, people pulling out from me and whatnot. But I'll walk up to the cab and show you what that looks like. So another good thing about my Ram that works out really well is that it has a constant hot right here as long as the truck is running. So when I plug this in and we crank it up, there you go. So it is actually hooked up. It's telling you it's on. The breakaway switch is hooked up. You can set your tension here, and if you need to panic brake, you just pull down on the lever just like you would with like a regular trailer brake. So like mine has a trailer brake, this is your panic right here. So very similar. So this is all Bluetooth, and if you're wondering how the robot brakes, it's all done like on a gyro system or like an inertia system. So it detects the shift in the vehicle. So when I start to brake in the truck, it starts to brake back here. Slight delay, good to know, but it's pretty intuitive, pretty quick, and works super well. And like I said, I've driven cross country with this many times and not really had much of an issue with anything, and works great. So I just figured I'd let you guys see how this works, and hopefully if that's something that would be helpful for somebody who's needing to tow their Jeep around or wants to pull it behind a motorhome and has never seen this before, that helps you out. So thanks for watching.